Valley, and Chat Valley won at Snead State. So here they are on a neutral floor. McGrew, Tinker, Morgan, Hill, and Edmondson getting the starting nod for the Parsons. Boykin, Johnson, Sanders, Alexander, and Davis for the Pirates, and you've got a backcourt. On the first call, Snead State with possession. Welcome to Mobile, Alabama. The perfect day to be playing indoors. It is nasty outside. Raining and on the cool side as well. So we are delighted to be in here. Pirates and Parsons. Headed into the corner, and that is Morgan. Boston bringing it to the paint and walked with it. Well, if the prior game is any indication as to what we will have in this game, it will take a little bit to get cranked up. The team struggled to get their bearings for about half a quarter. But then it cranked up. As a matter of fact, Coastal North wound up a point shy of 100. So, yeah, they got their offense running. And while Selma, which came in averaging 69 a game, scored 76. So an above-average game for both. Nerves will play a little role early. McGrew to Tinker, and over it eventually goes to Morgan. From the elbow, the shot from Edmondson. No good, but tracked down by Hill. McGrew, first two of the game. Chatham Valley, by the way, limited. How about one bench player? If you get into foul trouble, you are in trouble. The only member of the Chatham Valley bench is Alexandria McCoy. Flipped over to McGrew. Lost but retrieved by Tinker. Off the rim with the three. And there was a foul committed by Edmondson. On the rebound by Alexander. Put in play to Boykin, who was honored prior to the start of the game as the Division II Women's Player of the Year. Lob down to Boykin, and she'll get fouled, bringing it into the paint. Edmondson, the guilty party. Second team foul. Places Katie Boykins at the line shooting for Chat Valley. Chat Valley coming into the ball game on a roll. They've won 9 in a row. And as a matter of fact, their last loss came to Snead State. Happened on the 11th of January. And haven't lost a game since. It is a quiet gymnasium. You know, it's one of those quiets that you're like, man, should I talk? I mean, people want to focus on the game. I know what you're saying. You're going, no, you shouldn't talk. Just pipe down and let us watch. But if I didn't say anything, Dean may not pay me. McGrew going to the strike. It is great to have you watching the game, though. Wherever you're watching the game, there are multiple options for the play this weekend. You can watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it on the ACCC Sports Network. So if you went to our site to watch, then you're watching on YouTube. If you went to the ACCC you're watching it on the Sports Network. But thank you either way. Alexander with a miss on the three. Retrieving the rebound was Hill. A much longer D2 drive for Snead State than they had anticipated. Originally, this was supposed to happen at Shelton State. And it winds up coming to Mobile because there were no hotels available in Tuscaloosa. Miss on the three, try by Morgan. Put back, no. Don't think it dropped in. Still got a 3-1 game. It'll be put in play from the baseline by McGrew. That's an easy two for Morgan. And Snead State jumping out to the 5-1 early lead in this one. Snead State 6-4 in conference play. And again, it's not how you do outside of the conference. It's how you do inside of the conference that determines if you move on. And they finished 6-19, but the 6 wins were in the conference. Good enough for third, and here they are. With a chance to get to the title game. Boykin with a block from the backside on the drive by Moore. So yeah, you want to win those out-of-conference games, but you really want to win the ones that matter. Snead State did, and here they are. Off the rim with a Hill try. Able to get it back, that is Moore. And there is a foul called on Boykin. A couple of fouls now against both. Kenny Moore of the stripe, a Cleveland, Tennessee product. A double-digit scorer, averaging 11 a game. And a pretty good free throw shooter at 70%. I guess I shouldn't have said anything. You praise and there's failure after the fact. Kind of that media jinx thing. Over to Boykin. Bringing it down low, trying to create a little separation between she and Tinker. With the rebound, it is Paris Morgan. And the Pirates, nearly halfway through the first, don't have a field goal. Loose ball, Boykin retrieves. Got the numbers, got their first field goal. Got a foul called on Alexander. And that will be her second. Forcing the only Pirate bench player into the game. Alexandria McCoy. Tinker over to Morgan, back it goes to Tinker. Emma Garcia coming into the game for the Parsons. Leaving the contest is Hill. Put in play from the near sidelines. Tinker gets it to Moore. Scratch that. That is McGrew. Tinker did touch, though. McGrew with the drive down low. Back out front, it goes to Tinker. Shoots the three, drops it in. Well, I think they put the points here in the arena on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Now corrected. There we go. 9-3 game. Foul committed by Johnson. And we are to the media timeout. Parsons with a lead as we head into the first media break of quarter number one. Snead State with a 9-3 lead early in this one. Bishop State, Mobile, Alabama. A D1 school, and as a D1, they are a neutral site in the ACCC for this D2 tournament. Garcia with a miss on the three. Hill muscled her way for two. Just out-wanted it from Sanders. Into the corner. Three ball. Alexander with a miss. Rebounded by Hill. Garcia. Three ball. Double-digit Snead State lead. One free throw and one field goal thus far in this one for the Pirates. But need I remind you, a long way from wrapping this one up. Over to McCoy, missed on the three. Well, I wondered if we would see the AD of Snead State, Casey Underwood. He is indeed here. He's made his way to the house, and making his way to the other end of the floor for two is Sanders. McGrew with a miss on the easy lay-in. Boykins got it. Feeds into the corner, McCoy. Back out front, reaching from the backside is McGrew to get the steal. Takes it to the glass and banks it in. And the Parsons back out in front by 11. Picking up the dribble is Sanders. Over it goes to Boykins. She'll put it up near the elbow and drop it in for two. Fed into the corner. Hill lobbing it out front. Tinker with it. Lost the dribble, able to get it back. Out front it goes to McGrew. Hill to Garcia, wants another three. Off the rim, McCoy with the rebound. Nearing the 1 minute 2-minute mark in quarter number 1. Johnson with a miss on the 3. McGrew with a board. Flip back over to McGrew, into the corner, Garcia. Top side, Tinker, short on the 3. Put back from Moore is good. Sanders into the paint, missed the shot, tipped out, rebounded by McGrew. Over and goes to Hill. She'll accelerate to the glass for 2. Tipped out of bounds by McGrew. Talia Vaughn and Paris Morgan in. Vaughn for the first time in the game, Morgan back in. Pirates put it in play, and that will go off. Janiah Davison out of bounds. In the final 8 seconds of the first stanza, it'll be Parson basketball. Unless it's stolen away, it was, but running out of bounds with it is Sanders. Off the rim on the 3 try by Vaughn. Well, in the opening game, the lower seed accelerated early. In this one, the same is true. Parsons by 13. Members of the Snead State men's basketball team here in the Frederica G. Evans Cultural Center. Getting ready for their matchup next against MMI. Pretty dominant first quarter performance by the Parsons. 13-point lead after 1. In play to Vaughn as we get quarter number 2 underway. At halftime, a conversation with Dean Myrick, the commissioner of the ACCC. Davis, the steal. Over to Sanders. And the Pirates wanting to have a second like the Parsons had in the first. Rebounded by Hill. Handed over to Vaughn. 7-3 in the conference for the Pirates. Winners of 9 in a row. Got off to a slow start, but boy, have they accelerated since. Take those 9 wins away, which means prior to the start of the win streak, they were 4 games below 500 at 5-9. And of course, Snead State 6-4 and 6-19 overall. Well, what the Pirates cannot afford is to allow the Parsons to have a second like their first. Loose ball, Davis retrieves off the glass. Garcia with a board over to Vaughn. Three ball, just a little bit short for Morgan. Retrieved by Alexander. Alexander, by the way, playing with 2 fouls. There's a Vaughn foul. That's got Davis going to the stripe shooting. Davis, a 51% free throw shooter, 6 points a game on a 58% shooting Pirate squad. Put in play to Vaughn. Saved on the floor, but back into the hands of Vaughn.
Possession tie on the floor. Possession goes over to Chet Valley.
So tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we know the Coyotes are in. Who will they face, Parsons or Pirates? The 2 men's semifinal games still to come. Snead State and MMI, Bevel State and Chat Valley. Off the rim with the Johnson 3 try. Rebounded by Sanders, and she'll get fouled.
Foul called on Katie Moore of Snead State, her first foul. Second team foul against the Lady Parsons. It's going to place Haley Sanders at the line.
First foul on Moore that has Sanders shooting. Here comes McCoy into the game. Teresa Johnson out. Sanders shooting. Number 2 scorer on the team, averaging 16 per night. Number 1 is Boykins at 17.5. Couple of misses, rebounded by Hill. Flips it over to Morgan, and Morgan taking into the Parsons side of the floor. And there is a foul on the floor. That will be charged to McCoy. McGrew back in. Out goes Vaughn. Edmondson replacing Moore. And McGrew putting it in play. Does so out front to Hill. Garcia slings it into the corner. McGrew off the rim, rebounded by Boykin. Into the corner to McCoy. Off the rim on the 3 try. Garcia tips it to Hill. Around the horn and then near the paint. Over it goes to Hill. Perimeter to him as Sanders snagging the rebound. Over it goes to Boykins. Alexander back to Boykin. Lean in by Sanders, and let's see who committed the foul. That is going to be charged to Edmondson.
That's her third personal foul. Third team foul against Snead State. At the line shooting for Chat Valley is Haley Sanders. Sanders also checking in for them. Number 3.
Sanders at the stripe. Johnson back into the game. Out will go Alexander. Commissioner Dean Myrick, our halftime guest. And after the conversation with Dean, we'll take a look at some of the first half stats. Pirates hit double digits. Neither team has been scoring in abundance in quarter number 2. McGrew lost it. McCoy gets it. Flips it over to Sanders. Nice feed. Davis with a miss. Sanders trying to get the putback, and Hill will foul. Sanders back to the stripe. 16 points a game. 64% free throw shooter. Alexander to the scorer's table, getting ready to come into the ball game next. Short on the second of 2. And it's thrown out of bounds by Tinker. And the Pirates could cut it to single digits. Alexander back into the game as McCoy comes out. Flip down low to Davis. Boykins shooting over a couple of Parsons with a miss. As I mentioned, both teams not scoring at a high clip. 5 in the quarter thus far for Chatt Valley, and 2 in the second for the Parsons. Garcia rebounds, goes over to Hill. McGrew back out front to Tinker. Garcia to Hill. Turns around the perimeter, 2 off the rim. With the rebound is Johnson. And again, the Pirates a chance to cut it into single digits. Down it goes to Sanders. And Katie Moore charged with a foul. That'll be 2 on Moore. Got an immediate timeout. Halfway through quarter number 2 in a 22-12 contest. Jeremiah Patterson, the men's head basketball coach at Snead State. Champions a year ago. When Snead State was a D1 school, and They are all alone atop the standings on the men's side in D2 now. And they will play next against MMI. Sanders shooting a pair. Trying to slice that double-digit lead, and we'll do it down to 1. Guys, the Parsons have gone on a 5-minute, 8-second dry spell. 1 for 2 goes Sanders, but it is rebounded by the Pirates and then lost out of bounds. In play to McGrew. Garcia sending it to Tinker. Down it goes to Moore. Drives off the glass and rim, no good. And the Parson dry spell continuing. 2 points in the last 5.5 minutes. Sanders with it. Boykin hitting the 3. And all of a sudden, a 5-point game. And 1.13. And there's just a lid on that hoop right now for the Parsons. Got the first 2 points of the quarter and have not gotten things since. Hill lobs to the other side of the floor to McGrew. From the elbow, the miss. Battle for the loose ball. Moore and Davis. And you got a jump ball on the possession arrow. Will send us to the Pirate end of the floor. Johnson off the glass on the 3. Try McGrew with it. McGrew lost it in the paint. And it'll be the Pirates with the ball back and a chance to make it a 4-point game, or maybe even 3. Dean Myrick, the commissioner of the ACCC. He's our guest at halftime. Boykin to Davis. Feeds it over to Sanders at the elbow. Fades. Too strong. Tipped out McGrew with it. And a foul called on Sanders. That'll be the first on Sanders. Into the corner to Garcia. And she'll hit the 3. Breaks the ice. Ends the dry spell.
2 minutes remaining in the quarter. 2 minutes remaining.
Handed over to Boykin. Feeds into the corner. Johnson with a miss. Rebounded by Hill. Garcia to Tinker, over to McGrew, and it is stolen away by Johnson. Sanders Has it stolen right back by McGrew, but a jump ball. And the possession arrow will keep us headed to the Snead State end of the floor. McGrew to Tinker for the final 90 seconds of the first half. Over to Moore, spins off the glass, not there. Davis with a board. Tinker picking up the foul, her first, putting Boykin at the line. 17 a game, as we mentioned, for Boykin. Player of the year, 60% free throw shooter. Stolen away by McCoy. Over it goes to Boykin. Out of the corner, Johnson. Back over to Boykin. Puts it up from the stripe. Short. Hill's got it going the other way. Into the paint. In and out for McGrew. And a foul called on Davis. That is her first of the game. Johnson out, Alexander in. .22 on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. In play to Tinker. And she will get fouled, bringing it into the paint. If that's Davis, it is. It's two in the span of about 15 seconds. Tinker shooting. 7 points a game, a 76% free throw shooter, a 62% free throw shooting Parsons squad. McCoy coming out of the game, Johnson is back in. Knocked out of bounds by Morgan. Pirates trying to make it a single possession game before the half. Put in play to Boykin. Back over to Johnson off the rim with the three. Hill the rebound, and that will do it for a half. So it is the Parsons that will head into the locker room with a lead. 27-16 advantage at the half. Our conversation with Dean Myrick, the commissioner of the ACCC. It's your halftime feature, and it's coming up next. Great to have with us at halftime Dean Myrick, the commissioner of the ACCC. Dean, how you doing?
We're it's day by day, man. It's that time of year. So yeah, we got everything we have is going right now. So it's a good time of year, but it's a busy time of year.
Extremely busy, and as a matter of fact, this is airing in the midst of the Division II basketball semifinals and championships. So let's talk about that for the moment. And I've got to start on the men's side because, man, you talk about parity in D2 men's basketball outside of Snead State. Then you get Bevel State there with a firm grasp on two. But 3 through 6, man, that was a log jam.
It was, and that's a good thing. And when I started looking at it, I'm like, oh gosh, and so Thursday I started looking at all the scenarios and putting pen to paper and pulling up all the tiebreakers and head to heads and all of that. And it actually wasn't as close as it was. I mean, when you pull up the standings, yes, oh gosh, you got all these teams 7 and 9. But when you actually broke it down, just sitting here at the table and stuff, it was pretty much already decided before the games even tipped off who the six were. Now the seeding 3 through 6, that was completely up in the air. I mean, Chat Valley, if they lost, I believe would have fell to 6th, but they won and finished 3rd. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of parity, a lot of good teams, and just kind of beat up on each other all year. And so it's going to be a good tournament, I believe.
One of the teams that did not make it in with a 7-9 mark was because it was their first year in the league, that being Reed State. And to me, when you look at what Reed State has done this year, being competitive in their first year in, that's remarkable.
It is, and they did very well. And I was fortunate enough to go to their first home game, and I mean, it was standing room only, a lot of community support. And I know Dr. Boykin, their president, is very, very pleased, and there'll be increasing tenfold next year with women's basketball and volleyball, softball, baseball. So they're all in.
Does a school have a mandatory 1-year kind of probationary status per sport, or is that when a school enters the athletics?
It's per school. So when a school enters athletics for the first time, I shouldn't even say ever, because Northwest Shoals ran into this last year. Their baseball would have qualified for postseason, but being new, they had that probationary period as well. So I guess in simple terms, Reed State men's basketball was the guinea pig this year, and they did the probationary period, and all the other sports will reap benefits of it next year. So yeah, it's per school, and if they're new or not. So like Gadsden State coming in, baseball and softball, they would not be on a probationary period because they already have a established athletic program.
You bring up Gadsden State. Are they coming in with baseball and softball?
Baseball is in now. They're playing, doing well, and softball will be in next year.
D1, D2. I've been saying over the course of 6 months now, I hope I am right, but this may be the first time ever that there's been both in the ACCC. Is that true?
Not ever. It's been a while. I know it's been, over 13 years. And I believe it kind of went away a few years before I got here. And still don't know really the whole backstory, and it doesn't matter. But, I think it's been great. We have seen the success, even though we may not win a national championship, we're going to be in the competition for it. It's not like some of our sports in Division I that, I mean, it's an uphill climb from the first game or match or whatever of the national tournament. So, I think it's great. We will have, two teams. We'll have some teams ranked in D1. We'll have a team ranked in D2. We'll have two teams experience a national tournament, instead of one. So it provides those student athletes an additional opportunity to experience a national tournament atmosphere and, being able to compete for a national championship. So, I keep referencing Raleigh State volleyball. They won 3 matches this year, which is more than we've won at the D1 tournament combined ever. So, that was successful. And I think he would tell you that it's probably not one of his strongest teams this year, but still went 3-2 and did well. So I think we're going to be competing very well at the D2 level and to go along with our D1 teams. And, it gives us a little bit more notoriety across the country in both. So it's been a good year for that.
Now, too, to clarify, I know we've been 2 in the past. Have we been D1 and 2 simultaneously? So that has happened previously?
Yes, and I know in baseball, I remember when LB Wallace, when I was in Region 10 in the Carolinas, actually had to come up and play in our region tournament. Coastal North and Bruton won a D2 national championship. I can't remember how long ago, but they won, simultaneously with D1. So it's been done, and it's a little bit more work, 2 tournaments and so on and so forth, but that's still not bad, and it's fun, and it gives teams an opportunity to experience postseason, like I said, and teams that may not qualify for the D1, state tournament or conference tournament, on a regular basis now have that opportunity at D2. So it's just providing a lot more opportunities for all involved.
And speaking of opportunities, we got to talk about ladies basketball D2, and really it has created some opportunities when you consider the dominance of Shelton State in women's basketball. So in D2, you got a brand new face atop the standings with Coastal Alabama North.
You do, and Coach Armstrong did a great job this year, and Coach Roden at Snead State, kind of brought them back there, and and I haven't crossed it over, and but do some of these teams qualify for the Division I tournament if we were all Division I? And the answer is probably no. So it's going to give at least these 4 teams. I'm not saying they wouldn't have qualified, like I said, I haven't checked, but it gives those 4 teams an opportunity to, and all of their student athletes and coaches and fans, an opportunity to experience postseason. And I don't see anything negative about that.
Well, here's one thing that won't happen. You won't have a domination of the North over the South because you don't have those 2 divisions this year.
That's true. And, we're kind of, if you look at it, really in all sports, except for Coastal South, Bishop in basketball, the North-South almost stayed the same as D1, D2, if that makes sense. So, so most of your previous North division in D1 pretty much all stayed D1, and then most of your South division previously in D1 went D2. So it's kind of like that now, but it was kind of funny how all that played out. But again, we've had no negatives, and I was telling someone Saturday in Oxford, if you know D1 and D2, you would never know. Really nothing changed other than less conference games, during the regular season and 2 tournaments. So, scholarships stayed the same. We were able to keep the rivalries, and, a lot of our D2s are playing D1s in all the sports, which is also a good thing.
One small difference, too, for the D2s is they've got another stop along the way before heading to a potential national championship appearance. So tell our viewers what's next in D2 and where do they go?
Well, D2, we'll talk basketball since we're in that now. So we'll have our conference tournament conference/region tournament this weekend. And let me say thank you to Bishop State for kind of bailing us out and hosting that D2 tournament, even though they don't have a team. And, we just ran into some hotel issues at a previous host. So big thanks to, them and Coastal South. They're going to tag team it. But so anyway, so we'll have our top 4 women, top 6 men. And the reason of that, with Bevel, Marion, they do not have women's basketball in D2. So, we take 50 to 60% of all of our participants and advance to postseason. So that's why the discrepancy there. But so whoever wins those 2 tournaments on March 9th, and we will host this year at Coastal South, we will play the winner of the Region 8, which is Florida winners, and in a 1-game playoff in a district championship, the winner of that will advance to the national tournaments. The same thing will occur in D2 baseball. We will travel to Florida this year. I couldn't get Florida to go for like we did in D2 softball, to where we are doing a combination region/district, to where we'll get 5 teams, Florida will get 3, and then the winner of that will go directly to the national tournament. So I'm always texting and calling the Florida commissioner every day trying to get that in baseball, but I think that's going to be a little uphill battle, but we're going to work on that. So yeah, we're with Florida and everything. It's winner versus winner and everything but softball. And so that'll be a good thing. And I think we will compete very well with them. And once we advance to the national tournament, we're going to go ahead and say we're going to win all those districts and go to the national tournament. And I think we'll do well there, represent ourselves really well.
Okay, so specifically where the women and the men in this weekend's tournament in D2, they will play on the 9th in a 1-game battle with Florida, and it takes place in Bay Minette?
Yeah, we went ahead and predetermined those sites to help with budgeting, to help with logistics. So next year, we will go to Tallahassee. And again, that's a completely neutral floor. Tallahassee's Division I, Coastal South is Division I. So when teams budget for next year, they'll know, hey, if we win Region 22, we're going to have to go to Tallahassee. So that way, we'll know our winner Saturday night of this week for Division II. Florida will know theirs. It's a lot easier if you already know you're going to Tallahassee versus, oh gosh, Miami-Dade won this tournament. Mm-hmm. We've got to go find a way to get down to Miami in 5 days. So that, I believe, that'll help. And the same thing in baseball. They'll be in Jacksonville this year and for the district. And then we will host in 25 at a site to be determined. But it'll be, we've looked at Dothan, do we want to put it on a campus, so it'll be somewhere, geographically, suitable for everybody.
Dean Myrick, Commissioner of the ACCC, you are always a wealth of new information in regards to sports in the conference. Thanks for being our halftime guest. I'm sure we will see you in Mobile at Bishop State this weekend.
Well, I appreciate it. You worded that better than most people say, that I'm a wealth of blank information. So I appreciate you being nice about it. And we'll see you in Mobile Friday. Look forward to a good tournament.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Second half action between Chatham Valley and Snead State. Up the ground, the chance to move to the championship game.
Thank you very much, Dean Myrick, for the halftime conversation. There you are looking at some of the first half stats, and I think you get a pretty good idea why the Pirates have struggled so. Their shooting percentages out rebounded. Just had a rough first half, and here is the good news for the Pirates. They're not really that far out of the ball game. Finding themselves down by 11, but you got a lot of ball game left. And Snead State, as you saw the numbers, didn't really set the world on fire either. 30% from the floor, 33% from long range. But it was better than the Pirate numbers, and thus far they've got the first bucket of the second half. Winners got Coastal North tomorrow at 1. And here's the plus, though, to all the happenings in the first half of the Pirates, and that is that they did not commit many fouls. So they are not in a problem spot foul-wise at the moment. That'll go out of bounds and belong to the Pirates. Leading scorer in the first half for the Parsons, Garcia, who had a couple of threes. And had a total of 6 in the game. And the leading scorers for the Pirates each had 6, Boykins and Sanders. 13 rebounds in the first half for Hill of the Parsons. What a dominant performance on the boards. Largest lead in the game, and was 15 at the 9:21 mark in the second stanza. And it belonged to the Parsons, and that was the biggest advantage of the game. Chat Valley has not had a lead in this contest. 20-7 after 1, and the Pirates did outscore the Parsons in quarter number 2, but not by a large margin, 9-7. So thus, a low-scoring game and some low shooting percentages. And I think Sanders is going to pick up the foul. She will. That is foul number 2, I believe. No, 3 now on Sanders. And again, with the Pirates, you've got limited personnel. So if you lose bodies on the floor, there's just not many on the sidelines to put in. How about 1 on the sideline? Hill. Off the glass. Sanders has it tipped away. And McGrew is going to be charged with a foul. Snead State trying to have a couple of teams in the championship, men and women. Women with the advantage at the moment. The men play Marion Military next. Boykin off on the 3, rebounded by Morgan. McGrew trying to rim it. We're going the other way after the Hill foul.
Hill picks up her second foul. Second team foul against the Lady Parsons.
Pirates put it in play. Looking for that point in the game where they make a run. Where they cut the lead. Just haven't been able to get it much inside 9. Wow, that second quarter. I'm looking at second quarter stats. Snead State was 1 of 11 from the floor. Chat Valley was 1 of 16 from the floor. Sanders picking up the dribble, threw it away into the hands of Tinker. Boy, everybody put on pause for a moment thinking that buzzer that indicated the end of 30 had suspended play. Fed down low to Hill. Sanders to the glass. No good. Davis. And I think you can see the frustration of Coach Brown. He thought there was a foul on Hill. Morgan over to Tinker. Out of the corner comes Edmondson. Able to take it away and go the other way is Alexander. 2-on-1. There's a McGrew foul. And McGrew picks up the personal. Emma Garcia, top scorer in the first half for the Parsons, stepping onto the floor for the first time in half number 2 at the 5:05 mark. Sanders lost it. McGrew tries to track it down in the corner and go out of bounds. And be brought in from the corner. Well, I thought we would get our media timeout here, but did not. First end ball after the 5-minute mark. Laid in on the other end by Hill. And got a timeout on the floor. Requested by the Pirates with the Parsons leading at 33-18. Parsons trying to pull off the upset, have led from the outset. And currently have matched their largest lead of the game at 15. And the Pirates just have not been able to put a run together to take a noticeable bite out of the lead, at least for an extended period. Boykin with a miss and is rebounded by Hill. Edmondson gives a look down low. Fires over to Garcia. Hill's got it. Bring it in baseline. Tinker steps behind the arc. Over to Garcia. 3 on the shot clock. Off the glass for 2. 8 Garcia points. And the Parsons have got their largest lead of the game. Sanders over to Boykins. Briefly into the corner. Johnson back over to Boykins. She will shoot the three off the rim. Hill lost to Davis. Got it. Hill committed the foul. Davis wound up on the floor. And Davis will shoot free throws. Compliments of the Hill infraction. Alexandria McCoy coming into the game as Davis will try to get Chat Valley to 20. This is a 2 seed averaging 57 points a game. So typically by the end of 3, you've got somewhere in the vicinity of 35, maybe 40 points on the board. Pirates with 19. Boykin off Davis, retrieved by Edmondson to Garcia, then over to McGrew. Handoff given to Tinker. Garcia into the corner. Edmondson with a miss. And Hill will swat it away from Boykin. Snead State trying to win their 7th game of the year, but the biggest of the season would push them into the championship. Pirates trying to extend the win streak to 10. Pass is behind Johnson. Over it goes to Vaughn. Down low off the window more. The lead grows to 20. Sanders from the charity stripe. And there is time for the Pirates. And you got an offensive foul. That is Moore committing the foul away from play. But you don't like going into the 4th already saying the clock is not your friend. But that is what the Pirates are going to be saying if they don't go on a 90-second run here at the end of the 3rd. That's on Davis. That'll be her 3rd. McCoy coming out of the game with 1:37 to play in the 3rd. Vaughn leans in. And Alexander will commit her 3rd foul. Paris Morgan into the game. McGrew will come out. Lob down front. And it'll go out of bounds. 1 minute, 20 seconds to play in the third. McCoy coming into the game. And Alexander will come out. Put in play to Hill. Contact, bodies on the floor, no whistle. To the other end of the floor we go. Boykin, contact again. And this is going to be an offensive foul on Boykin. And now McCoy foul. And in the latter moments of the third, what the Pirates needed was to go on a point-scoring run. And they have instead committed a number of fouls that have got them in a pickle with 11 minutes to go in the game. Vaughn, 1 of 2. Well, whatever you don't do in the third, you have got to do in the fourth. Sanders with a miss. And right now it's a 19-point deficit they'll have to overcome. Vaughn with a miss, Davis with a board. Sanders, top of the key, give goes to Boykin. Into the corner, Johnson rims the three, in and out. Hill works into the timeline, trying to get into the other side of the floor. That's off Garcia. And the Pirates will try to put points on the board in the final 10 seconds of the third. Boykin, the three, off the rim. And it is the Parsons taking a 19-point lead into the fourth, trying to pull off the upset and advance to the title game. Some of the ladies at MMI here to cheer on the guys from MMI who will be on the floor in about 45 minutes. And we get a little dance room there too. We are indeed getting some dance moves here in the Frederica G. Evans Cultural Center. Stolen away, Johnson lays it up and in. Pirates starting off the fourth with a bucket. Needing a 19-point stanza. And they're going to crank up the defensive pressure. Boykin nearly took it away. Garcia with a miss. Able to track down the rebound. Back to the board, laid in for two by Hill. Into the corner, 3-ball off the rim for Johnson. Hill with yet another rebound. She's going to have 20 plus in this one. Over to Garcia. Off the rim with the 3. Put back, not there for more. Hill fouled by Johnson.
Second foul. First team foul against Chattahoochee. And the line shooting is Jemiah Hill.
Hill shooting, trying to extend the lead again to 20 plus. On the opposite end of the floor, a little perspiration being tended to. And as a matter of fact, one of the officials says, okay, forget the towel. We're going to get the correct tool. That little squeegee, that gym mop. Well, I think the official says, let me check and see if that's good. She says, yeah, that'll do. And we'll get back to the free throws. Hill at the line. Parsons trying to push it out to 20 plus again. One of two, the lead 20. Van de Boykin and the player of the years gotta crank it up in the final 8:33 if she's going to be playing another game this year. McGrew over to Tinker, nearly lost it out of bounds, able to retrieve. Tipped away, taken away. Boykin steps out with it. McGrew to put it in play from the baseline. And it's stolen away by Boykins. Lobs over to Johnson. Sanders back to Johnson. And McGrew's got the steal. Should be an uncontested lay, and it is. And we're better than 2 minutes into the fourth, and that lead stays at 20. I'm looking at the worst point production total for the Pirates this year. And it looks like it was 36 against Enterprise State. Off the glass and missed by Hill. Sanders on the other end. So 36 against Enterprise State, 27 currently.
Checking in for Snead State, number 30, Judea Edmondson.
Sanders going to the stripe. I'm going to hear from Mark Richard, the prior AD at Snead State. Said, sounds like I'm struggling with math. Well, I do struggle with math. I'm not sure if there's any particular struggle with math that you are addressing. Let me think. I probably added something together wrong, did I not? Or it could have been my struggles with English that just made it sound like there were struggles with math. There's just no telling. Hill from outside of the lane. Davis with the rebound. Back out front to Sanders. We're inside 7 to play, nearing the 6-minute mark. The lead is 17. Johnson will lose it. Hill's got it. And Hill says, heck, I'll take it. Who? The miss, McGrew with it. There's a wall. And there just seems to be, and maybe this is a wrong feel for the current tempo of the game, but where the Pirates are concerned, it just doesn't seem to have the urgency that I'm sure Coach would like to have, down by 17 with less than 6 to play. It's not an insurmountable lead. The Pirates have got to start scoring. Instead, it's thrown away in the corner. And McCoy's coming into the game. Out of the game goes Alexander. Both prior games between these two have been low scoring. 48-45 in one game. And then in the other contest, it was a 51-46 game. So a low scoring Parson-Pirate matchup is not a surprise. But the current distance between the two of 19 is somewhat of a surprise. The games prior had been close, 3 and 5. Hill committing the offensive. Foul number 4 on Hill. Over to McCoy, fed back to Sanders. Lost in the paint, taken away by Edmondson, then out of bounds off of Davis. And the Parsons maintaining that 19 to 20 point lead. Now inside 5 to go. A weave through traffic. Bucket for Morgan, and a foul as well. And I think we're going to the media timeout before the free throws. Yes. Last media timeout of this one. A 21-point Parson lead.
University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Decades of experience in distance learning. Empowering students of all ages. More than 90 degree and certificate programs to advance your career. UA Online. Flexible, affordable, legendary. Let your computer be your campus. Visit online.ua.edu.
They're members of the Coastal North basketball team. Winners earlier tonight or today over Wallace-Selma. Wallace-Selma gave the Coyotes a scare. Had a 1-point lead at the half. Coyotes poured it on in the second half, had their biggest offensive performance of the year by far. Their highest point production output prior to today had been 79. They put 99 on the board against Wallace-Selma. Yeah, kind of like Toto's 99. You don't know that song. You are very young then. Morgan misses. The lead is 21. And unless the comeback is ferocious, season could be just about over for the number 2 seeded Pirates of Chat Valley. They've got to start scoring and stop the Parsons from doing so. And got to do all of that in the span of 4 minutes and 21 seconds. Edmondson has it taken away. Boykin going the other way. And she'll lose it at the stripe. Edmondson will commit the foul. That is 4 on Edmondson. It'll be brought in from the baseline by Sanders. Put in play to Boykin. Leans in, draws the foul. Tinker's the guilty party. And Boykins will shoot.
Third team foul against Snead State. Places Katie Boykins at the line shooting for Chat Valley.
Chat Valley, one of 2 teams with 2 teams here. They and Snead State both have men's teams here. Snead State's men seeded 1, and Chat Valley's men seeded 3. More over to Morgan. Topside gives to McGrew. Picks up the dribble. And now you've got Parsons working to bleed the clock. Rebounded by Davis. And looks like, well, there's an offensive on Sanders. Looked like she had walked anyway. So one of the 2 would have given the ball back over to the Parsons. Coming up next, Snead State and MMI in men's basketball. First of 2 men's semifinal games. Edmondson with a miss. Sanders has it. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Today you can watch games not only on YouTube, but on the ACCC Sports Network. So you may or may not be watching the game on YouTube. If you're not, if you'll put JockJive Sports in the search engine, you'll find us. If you are watching on YouTube, the subscribe button should be nearby. So if you don't mind, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Trying to get to 3650 by the end of the day. And Ken, with your help, 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play. We are in Mobile, Alabama. Bishop State. And I saw Coastal North just leave. I think they are convinced they'll be playing the Parsons tomorrow. Probably at some point, sometime. Johnson with a miss. And it'll go out of bounds off Edmondson. Somebody's overcome a 20-point deficit in 2 minutes and 22 seconds. But you know the odds do not favor. I mentioned it previously in women's basketball. I recall a team overcoming a 12-point deficit with 1:26 to play in the game. So anything is possible. Morgan will get fouled. Katie Boykins picking up her 4th foul.
Places Paris Morgan at the line, shooting 2 for Snead State.
And the 9-game win streak in jeopardy. And for those looking at the score and not watching the game, but knowing that there were only 6 Pirate players, might have thought, well, they had all kinds of foul problems. Ladies fouled out of the game. Actually, that's the one aspect of the game that the Pirates have handled very well today, have been able to contain fouls and keep ladies from getting into a situation where they've got to leave the floor. But there was an old John Denver song that said, some days are diamond and some days are stone. This has just been a stone day for the Pirates. Have had a great year. 16 wins against 9 losses coming in, but have struggled in this one. And the Parsons and Coyotes are going to be playing tomorrow in the championship. Parsons will burn some more time. We might have another bucket or 2, but there's one from Morgan. But the season is about to wrap up for the Pirates and be extended another game for the Parsons. Sanders with a miss. And once you get across the mid part of the floor, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Just dribble it out. And it looks like that's what the Parsons are going to do. Clock winds down. Ball game is over. Snead State has pulled off the upset. They have knocked off the Pirates and advanced to the title game. It happens tomorrow. Coyotes and Parsons for the women's championship and the right to move on to North Carolina. Another Snead State squad. They and MMI in men's basketball coming up next. We'll see you then for all the folks with Bishop State, the ACCC, and JockJive. I'm Robert Williamson. So long, everybody.